You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. The French Institute of Cambodia kicked off its third cultural season of its annual program earlier this month on the 2nd of June 2022. This season, entitled Wind of Asia, will focus on fashion, perfume, design, ceramics, as well as gastronomy. EAC News attended the opening event of the season to see what it was all about and to learn more about what the French Institute has in store for the rest of the year. Our reporter Tashana Gojin will tell you more about it.
The inaugural event for the Wind of Asia was held on 2nd June at the French Institute, opening the first of two main exhibitions this cultural season will present on fashion and perfumes. Featuring a perfume testing gallery of a dozen famous perfume and fashion houses, the centerpiece of the exhibition was the presentation of the new perfume in the Arboretum, commissioned by the French Institute of Cambodia in partnership with NE, Le Mouvement Culturel Olfactif, for the occasion of the Institute's 30th anniversary. The perfume was the result of a collaboration between visual artist Sophia Pic and French perfumer Violaine Colas during a residency at CERVA, the International Center for Research on Glass and Plastic Arts in France.
It's a event, very big event, very important event for the French Institute. It's the season Wind of Asia, Vent d'Asie. The exhibition Fashion and Perfume, Mode et Parfum. It's totally French with complicity with the artist Cambodian and artist French. For example, in this season, I invite the big artist Cambodian, Mr. Sophia Pic, for one residence of art in Marseille, in French. The residence is in the CERVA for create a sculpture and object in glass. And in the same moment, for working with one knows French, knows of the perfume, the name is Violaine Colas. And Violaine Colas and Sophia Pic work together for create the first perfume Franco-Khmer of the landscape of Cambodia.
The French Institute describes this exhibition on fashion and perfumes as focusing on the links that unite these two disciplines and the way they feed each other and grow together. Matthew Chevara, one of the co-founders of the olfactory periodical NE, who partnered with the French Institute to organize this event, explained that fashion and perfume have been long tied together in history.
This event is called Mode et Parfum, so fashion and perfumes, and try to gather the creator of fashion and the perfume industry. And it started in the beginning of the 20th century, and it was a kind of craft in the beginning, and now it becoming step by step a real industry. And the relationship between perfume and fashion is now really difficult to disconnect, and sometimes the signature is mainly supported by perfume more than clothes for creators.
Regarding the specific creation of the perfume in the Arboretum made for the occasion of the French Institute's 30th anniversary, Chevara explained a bit about how NE helped to bring together Sophia Pic and Violaine Colas to create a fragrance that reflects Cambodia, but also the artist's memories and personal olfactory experience.
Every issue of our magazine, NE, we try to invite someone in another field of creation to meet a perfumer and to try to work together to explore the olfactory culture and to create a perfume, original and exclusive perfume. So for this last issue, so we invited Sophia Pic, one of the most famous artists in Cambodia, to explore with Violaine Colas from Man Company, which is a fragrance house based not so far from Grasse in the southeast of France, and they try to follow a fragile path of memories, his memories about a walk in the forest, and trying to find the different elements which defined the smell of the forest when he walked through it.
Speaking with the artist and creator himself, Sophia Pick, who traditionally works with natural materials such as bamboo, rattan, burlap, wood, and stone, said he was approached by the French Institute and NE to see if he was interested in creating a scent that speaks about his experience of working with natural materials and living in Phnom Penh. He is notably the first artist from Southeast Asia to be invited in residence at Serva. He said the process of creating the perfume took around 4 or 5 months in total and first began with an online conference call with perfumer Violaine Colas and a team of other French perfume experts.
I asked them a lot of questions, obviously, about how do you get the scent? How do you get the root of it? Where do they make it? What does it look like? What is the quantity? And then how do you mix it? And so during the process, they sent me about 25 different scents, and then I was to narrow them down to a smaller percentage. And then they start with those, and they start mixing a certain part with this part, that part, and then they send me some more, and then I go meet them 2 times in Paris, and until we get to basically 2 or 3 scents, and then we meet one last time at the studio where I was a residency in Marseille at Serva. And so we basically work at it for, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months actually to get to the final product.
Regarding what kind of positive impact he hopes the creation of this perfume will have on Cambodian culture, Pick said he hopes to see more Cambodian perfumes embodying the olfactory sensibility of the country get made and represented internationally.
I would think that this relationship can continue, not just for me, but maybe for another artist to come, or even just for myself possibly, if somehow the Cambodian people receive it in a positive manner, then perhaps to design a bottle maybe in the future, and also to have a name that it come from here. Because as far as I know, there's no Cambodian perfume per se. We use other people's perfume, so I think it's important that we start to think in terms of the scent that come from our country, and then trying to make that more universal. It would be great to go to an haute couture, a shop, and not just find other people's perfume, but also your country's perfume as well. And I'm just a small part of it, but hopefully, in the future, there would be more.
The event was a bustling affair attended by many members of the public and also featured some high-profile guests, such as the Minister of Culture, Phung Sakona, who delivered a short speech to open the evening festivities and also happily toured the perfume exhibition. When asked which perfumes she liked the best, she said she was particularly happy to try out new scents, especially the new perfume commissioned by the French Institute and made through a Franco-Khmer collaboration.
ខ្ញុំតាមពិតខ្ញុំហាត់ក្លិនទាំងអស់ណាទឹកអប់នីមួយមានភាពប្លែកគ្នាមានលក្ខណៈពិសេសរៀងខ្លួនចាខ្ញុំក៏ពេញចិត្តខ្ញុំចង់សាក់លបងទឹកអប់ដែលខ្មែរយើងធ្វើថ្មីពីព្រោះក្លិននេះយើងធ្លាប់ដឹងគឺជាក្លិនដែលយើងដើរកាត់តាមវាលស្រែយើងធំក្លិនផ្កាស្រូវតាមពិតផ្កាស្រូវមិនមែនក៏អូបដូចផ្កាម្លិះអីចឹងទេប៉ុន្តែមានក្លិនវានៅពេលដែលស្រូវចេញផ្កាយើងដើរទៅពេលដែលខ្យល់បក់មកស្រូវមានក្លិនផ្កាស្រូវយើងទទួលអារម្មណ៍នៅពេលដែលយើងធ្វើហិតទឹកអប់ហ្នឹងហើយនឹងស្លឹកកសីចាតាមពិតការស្រឡាញ់ទឹកអប់មនុស្សម្នាក់ៗខុសគ្នាចាប៉ុន្តែខ្ញុំគិតថាយើងគួរតែប្រើប្រាស់ខុសគ្នាដែរកុំតែទឹកអប់ប្រមុខទៅហៅ Chanel ឬក៏យកយើងអាចសាកល្បងនៅអ្វីដែលជាកូនខ្មែរយើងធ្វើថ្មីដែរ
Outside the gallery, Japanese artist Lei Saito was engaged in a culinary performance, creating a giant food-based installation and culinary landscape on a white table for onlookers to observe. Saito has been based in Paris since the early 2000s and was personally invited to Cambodia by the French Institute's director, Valentine Rodriguez, to take part in this event and cultural season. She said it was her first time visiting Cambodia and was inspired by the new culture. She spent several days researching Cambodian cuisine, doing taste tests, and preparing local ingredients for her installation. Saito took about an hour to complete the full installation, and at the end, attendees were able to eat the artwork directly off the table. When asked what she hopes people will take away from her performance and art, she said it would be nice if her work could trigger old memories or inspire new imaginations of landscapes in people's minds.
If they can start discussing about, it reminds me the food I ate before somewhere, what is this, or it can be, or so if it can invite some new imagination for people, it will be very nice for me. And make so because I'm making food landscapes, but it can be another landscape when it's related to each person's memories, and then they can imagine another thing, another new landscape. That will be nice.
Speaking with some event attendees, everyone seemed very happy and excited to smell and try out all the perfumes, and also seemed eager to attend more events organized by the French Institute in the future, particularly those part of this cultural season's program. One attendee, Ratana, said she had heard about the event from friends and had also attended a previous lecture hosted by the French Institute on the history and process of making perfumes.
On the first day of the event, we actually went to the lecture of how the perfume was made and like how it was made back then from a long time ago, and it's really interesting. And I think it takes a lot of knowledge, and you actually need to understand about a lot of different factors in order to actually design a perfume that is so well fitted and smells good and everything.
Another attendee, photographer Vanak Kun, said he heard about the event through Facebook and came to get inspired by the exhibition and other artists' work.
I'm a big fan, I can say, for IFC. So because the thing always have new thing that I love to see. Also, it's good for me as an artist that I can learn from different artists from different world, different country, different world.
The event was capped off with a hip-hop concert by Clap Your Hands artists Sreliak and Vinvitu, exciting attendees who could be seen dancing the night away. The fashion and perfumes exhibition can still be experienced by all members of the public at the French Institute of Cambodia in Phnom Penh from 2nd June until 22nd October. The Institute also launched its second major exhibition of the cultural season, titled Glassblowers, at the National Museum of Cambodia on 10th June, presenting unique glass pieces designed and produced in the Serva Workshop Laboratory in France and showcased alongside a selection of Angkorian vases from the National Museum's own collection. The Glassblowers exhibition will remain at the National Museum until 30th September, so don't miss out on this exclusive chance to see the crossover of modern and traditional French and Khmer art pieces.
The Wind of Asia, or Vent d'Asie, is the French Institute of Cambodia's third cultural season of its annual program. This season will feature a series of events on fashion, design, and gastronomy. These events can be experienced from 2nd of June until the 22nd of October at the French Institute, the National Museum of Cambodia, and elsewhere. Darshana Gauchen, EAC News, French Institute, Phnom Penh.